Everyone, welcome back to Mamta Nival tutorial. And guys, in this video we're going to start a new chapter number 3rd, and the name of the chapter is fiber to fabric. How we convert a fiber into a fabric. This is what we need to learn in this chapter. Okay, so we have already discussed about like how many type of fibers do we have. We have two type of fiber. One is the origin which come from the plants, and other is the animal. So we have discussed about the plant fibers a lot in the 6th class, but in the 7th class we need to focus on the fiber which we obtain from the animals. Which kind of fibers? Like wool we obtain from from animals, as well as the silk which we obtain from animals. So these two fibers we need to focus, how we obtain those fibers and how that fibers will help us to make a fabric. Okay, all these we need to focus. Now from where from where we get the wool? We get the wool from the flea. What is the fleece? Fleece is the hair of the sheep or hair of the yak or any camel or any other animals, we can say. So the hairs, from that hairs of the sheep or yak we make the wool, or we get the fiber from the for the wool. And from silk, from where we get the silk? We get the silk from the cocoon of the silk moth. Okay, so this is what is the just the basic. Now we will talk about it in the details. Like first is the wool. What is wool and how? Why we require wool? During in the winter season we require to make or keep our body warm, so that's why we require wool. And warmth, what the animals have, like normally we can wear clothes in the winter time, and we can protect our body from the coldness of the outside coldness. Okay, but what a normal animal have? A normal animal have hairs on their bodies, and those hairs protect them from the outside cold weather. How the hair can help? Like the main concept is the same. The when we obtain the hairs from the silk, from the sheep or from the goat or yak or any other animals, what we do? We will take or shave off all their hairs. What the working of the hairs? Why we require hairs? Because hair used to trap the air. Okay, so because of that trapped air, and we know that the air is a very poor conductor of heat, that's why we can say that it will keep the warmth of our body to near our body itself. It do not conduct or do not allow to flow the heat to outside environment. Okay, so this is what the main concept, how the wool make us warm in the winter season. Because it is a very, because air is very bad conductor, or we can say poor conductor of heat. That's why the air which is trapped inside that hairs, and that air will not allow to pass that body heat to the outside environment, and that's why we feel warm environment, or we feel little warm when we wear that woolen clothes. Now we understand this, like from the hairy skins we find it out that from the hairy skins we found wool. Okay, we can obtain wool, but there are two type of hairs which is present on the sheep or other animals. Okay, what are the? First is the chorus beard hairs. Okay, one is the chorus beard hair, which is not very soft or not utilized for our clothes and other processes. Other is the fine soft under hair. Okay, fine soft under hair, which is very close to our skin. Okay, the fine soft under hair are very close to the skin of that animals, and from there we will obtain the wool. Okay, what wool? Through which we can make our clothes out of it, or we can say that the shawl out of it. So what, from where? From this fine soft under hairs we get it. Okay, but this is like this kind of, if we have lot of hairs from this area, okay, that means if we have a sheep and that sheep only grow this one, this kind of hairs, it do not grow the chorus breed hairs, which is low in cost. If you sell those hairs in the market, it will cost you very less amount. But if you sell the fine soft hair under hairs in the market, it will give you a very huge cost. So so to improve the quality of the wools as well as the profit of that person who is rearing all these sheep, they require some selective breeding. Okay, so we cannot like breed any of the sheep and we will obtain a very good amount of wool out of it. No, we require some selective breeding for that, so that we can select the parents. Selecting parents is will be in our hand. We will select the parents, and from that parents we will get the offsprings with that character which we require. Okay, so it can be obtained, like for example, we have some different kind of wool present in different area, like yak wool. Yak wool is mostly common for the Tibet as well as the Ladakh area. Okay, so in, if we talk about the wool which is coming from the Ladakh or Tibet area, that must be of the yak wool. Okay, the wool which is made up from the hairs of the yak. Or we can say that there are other like mohair. This is the wool which is coming from Angora goat. These goats are present in the Jammu and Kashmir, all the hilly areas. Okay, so Jammu and Kashmir we can find these kind of wools. Okay, what else, like pashmina, you must have heard this name. This is very common if you went to the Jammu Kashmir for any trip, so you must have seen that they sell some shawls of pashmina shawls. So what are they? They are the shawls which is made from the hairs of the Kashmiri goat. Okay, so and these hairs are extremely soft, that's why it is very costly. The shawl, pashmina shawl, is very costly. And sometimes in some places there are some animals like camels also, the hairs of camels are also used to make wool out of it. Okay, so it depend on the what kind of a breed we are using and from in which area, because every breed require their own temperature, own climate. So all these things we require to maintain for that animal to rear properly or grow properly. So let's talk what are the different kind of breeds and from and in which area we can find that breed. Let's talk now. This is the like name of the breed. Name of breed, whatever breed we are using for that sheep to obtain the wool, and here will be the quality of wool. So it depend on us like what product we require, so we will rear those kind of breeds, or this is the state from in which these breeds are normally found. Like first is the lohi. The lohi sheep, we used to grow this lohi goat to get a good quality wool. Okay, and mostly we find it out in the Rajasthan and Punjab area. We mostly see this goat is the lohi goat in the Punjab or Rajasthan area. Okay, second is the Rampur Busheer. This is the name of the breed, and that breed will give us a different kind of wool, and that wool is brown in color. Okay, so we can say that the fleece, or we can say that hair of that sheep is brown in color, that's why they are different from other species. So they are mostly found in UP or HP area of India. What else? Like Nali. Nali is also a species or a breed of sheep, and this is required to make the carpet wool. When we require a carpet wool, we grow or rear Nali species that will give us a very good amount of carpet wool. And where we rear it in the Rajasthan, in Haryana, or in Punjab area. Okay, mostly in those area we found those kind of breeds. What else? Like Marwadi, this is very common species. Marwadi species is found for the chorus. Okay, the chorus wool is not very good wool. It is little hard as compared to the fine and soft hairs, so it do not cost very high, and it found in the Gujarat area. Okay, so it find in the Gujarat area. Now last is the Patanwari. This is the last breed which we can see, like for hosiery. If we require anything for the hosiery or wool for hosiery, we require a Patwani breed. For that we need to rear Patwani weed. Okay, and it is also found in the Gujarat area. So these are some important breeds which you should understand or learn for the exam point of view. It is very important, and in which state we found those breeds. Like why we are studying all these breeds? Like normally when you go to Jammu and Kashmir, okay, Jammu and Kashmir, you must have seen some kind of a sheep or shepherds which are taking their shepherds which takes their herd of sheep for grazing purpose. Okay, mostly you have seen, like in other state also, like Himachal Pradesh, like Sikkim, like Uttaranchal or Arunachal Pradesh or Haryana. All these area also you have seen that most of there are some shepherds which taking their herds of that sheep for grazing purpose. What they do, they just graze all the grass from that area while moving around, and they will grow that sheep, and they will take off all the hairs of that sheep after they get mature, and that hair they sell that hair, and that because of that selling of that hair they get the profit, and they can fulfill their needs of their daily basis. Okay, so the main important thing is how we can say that the processing. What is the processing of fibers into wools? How we can process the fiber into wool, or how we can get? First of all, we should make the goat that much adult that it contain lots of hair on their bodies. Okay, first step this. Then we need to sharing is a process in which we need to remove all the hair portion from that sheep. Okay, so removing of the hairs, as well as a thin, like removing what we are removing hairs plus a little skin, or we can say that a thin layer of skin, and that layer do not hurt that sheep. Okay, because like normally when we shave or cut our hairs, it do not hurt us. Similarly, the goat also or the sheep do not hurt because of the removing the hair or skin of their off from their body. Okay, and mostly this is done in the hot weathers, when it is summers. During the summers they remove those hairs, because the goat or sheep can survive in the hot climate without their hairs, but in the winter they require the hairs. The growth of the hairs is very high in the winter, and that will be used by the shepherds, so that they can cut off those hairs in the hot weather. Whenever the hot weather come, they will cut off all the hairs of that sheep, and they sell it in the market. Okay, so what before selling, what this second step they require to do is first clean it off. Okay, so how we clean? We take a container, any container, and put all the materials, whatever we have shaved off from the sheep, all those hairs with that skin, we need to wash them off. And this washing process is known as the scoring. This is the washing process. Okay, so what we are removing grease, dust or dirt from that area, from that portion which we have get from the shaved portion. Okay, now what we can do, the third step we require is the sorting process. What is the sorting? We need to sort the things like the hairs, different type of hairs. If there is a fine hairs, we need to remove. If there is a coarse hair, we need to separate them in a different container, and we need to now, or we why we are taking, we can say that the shepherd will separate them and send it to the factory area in the factories. Okay, now what happen in the factory? Normally, first of all, the person will remove the burrs out of it. What are the burrs? Like normally you must have seen some kind of a bubble kind of a structure on your sweater when the sweater is little old. Okay, the new sweater do not have, but after having some, there are some bubble kind of a structure or dot kind of a structure that happen on the sweater, and you can remove it with the help of blade. Okay, with the help of blade you can remove it and make it like a new one. So these are the birds which are present naturally on the fiber. So first of all, the factory will remove all these out from the fiber. Okay, now we get some fibers. What we do now, the fiber is ready to make yarn out of it, but we require to color it. Okay, so we require, if we need a different kind of color, normally the fiber is brown, black or white in color. Normally the sheep or goat, all of them has only these are the natural color for them. But if we require different kind of a color or fabric color, so we can add some color to that fabric, and that after that the other process will begin. Okay, so before making it a yarn, converting it into the yarn, we make or add some color into it. Okay, now after coloring it, what we need to do is the straighten that fibers and comb it properly, and after that combing we will roll that fiber into the yarns. Okay, what are the yarns? The fabric, the small fabrics will convert, this thin thread like structure will convert into a yarn, and that yarn will convert into the fabrics. Okay, arrange them properly, that will convert into the fabric. So this is the whole process how we get the wool out of animals. Okay, so in short we can say that first is the process is known as the shearing, which is the process in which we shave off all the hairs of out of the body of that person or that sheep. Okay, so from that animals we shave off all the hairs. After that is the scoring. What is that? We clean all the dirt, grease out of that hair or skin portion from that hairs. Okay, now is the sorting. We need to remove or sort the things which is required, like the soft hairs are sorted out, and the coarse hairs are sorted out in a different container and sell it to the factory person. Okay, now what the factory will do, it will again clean all the hairs again, and then remove the birds if they have any. Okay, and now the fiber is ready for the dyeing process. Now we will dye the fiber, and that fiber will roll, that dyed fiber will roll into the yarn, and from that yarn we will make a fabric of it. So this is how normally wool we found. But we have two type of wools. Like normally what we get as a result, we get some larger fabric. Okay, these larger fabrics are used to make wool out of it. Okay, and other are some short fibers, and these short fibers are used to make the ready-made clothes. The factory which make the ready-made clothes, they use short fibers, and the long fibers are the bundle of wool which you find in your market or you brought to make the sweater at home. So that is the longer fiber. So these two type of fibers we find out, and we make fabric out of that fiber. So this is what about the wool. So there is one important thing also, one important concept or term is the occupational hazard. What are these occupational hazard? Like sometime what happen if you are doing a job in a place which can be risky sometime, okay, because it can cause some kind of life threat to you also. Like the people who is involved in this process of that cleaning of all those hairs and all other process, what they have also risk of some bacterium, okay. And there was a bacteria which is anthrax bacteria, which is present in the sheeps and in the areas, and that anthrax bacteria can cause fatal blood disease, okay. That disease is so much fatal that they can cause the life of that person, okay. So and that name of the disease is called Sauter's disease. These are the disease which is caused by the bacterium anthrax, and this will cause the blood disease. So sometime if we do a job or we do an occupation or in an area, that area can cause some kind of a life threat also, like in this case also we will have a attack of bacterium. And in other cases if you are doing a job in a chemical factory or anywhere, so it will be required to keep some precautions for that, okay. Now we will talk about the silk. How we obtain silk? We obtain silk from the cocoon of the silkworm. Okay, and the first of all we require to rear. So rearing of silkworm is required, and rearing of silkworm is known as the sericulture. Sericulture. What is the sericulture? Rearing of silkworm. Silkworm. Okay, so what is that? If we grow a silkworm at a place, that process is known as the sericulture. First of all we will talk what is the life cycle of the silkworm, so that you can understand whole concept. So what is the first of all, the female will lay some egg, okay, and the eggs are in hundreds, okay. In the hundreds number of eggs a female can lay in one time. Now what happen, normally the egg will hatch, and a larva will came out of that eggs, and that larva is known as the caterpillar, okay. These caterpillars are very much hungry, they require lot of things to eat, and after eating they will grow in size, okay. After that when they grow in size, they stop eating at a time, and then they start making silk fiber. What are the silk fiber? These are the protein fiber, okay. These are the proteins which a silkworm make from their mouth, or in a 8 kind of figure, okay. This is how it used to make that cocoon. This is how it make the cocoon, and inside that cocoon they will live. That caterpillar will get inside that cocoon. This is the outer covering, this is the covering which is known as the cocoon, and inside that cocoon the animal will live, okay. The animal will grow inside it. After that growth, the adult, or we can say that the pupa will come out of that cocoon. The pupa is come out of the cocoon, and that pupa will convert into adult. So this is what the life cycle of a normal silk moth. Now how we get the silk from all these things, like from where we are getting from the cocoon of that silk moth, what he had made. Or what is this is the protein. So how we can say that we have a important concept also, like silk is so strong that it is if we need to check the strength of the silk, it is strong as the comparable thread if we make it thread of steel. So it is very strong as we will comparing it as steel, so it is give a very good competition to a steel. So how can a protein can convert into a that much strong things? Because this protein have a capacity, when it come in contact with the air, it will convert into a hard substance. Okay, because of that hard substance that is so strong that it can compare with the steel area also. Okay, so we can compare it with the thread of the steels. Okay, mostly the species which we rear for the silk, the silk moth are the mulberry silk moth. Okay, like in the sheep we have different type of breeds, but mostly in the silkworm we have mulberry silk moth, which is mostly we use to produce silk out of it. Now let's see the complete process of how we can get from the cocoon how we get the silk fiber. Okay, so first of all, what happened, the same situation, the female silk moth will lay some eggs, the hundreds of egg, and we need to store that egg on a cloth or a paper with very careful. Okay, very carefully we store all those egg, and we will sell it to the silkworm farmers. Okay, the farmers which used to rear the silkworm, we can sell to the farmers. Now what the farmer do, they will kept all those egg in a hygienic condition. Okay, there should be no bacteria or no any other condition, bad condition should not provide to that eggs. So they put them in a hygienic condition, and they will provide them a suitable conditions like a proper temperature and humidity to that the eggs which is laid by these females. So these eggs now will hatch, and a larva will came out of it. That larva, as you know, it is very hungry person, and he used to eat a lot. So what he need to eat, he will eat the mulberry trees leaves, the leaves of this tree. The farmer will chop those leaves, and the freshly leaves will provide to the larva to eat. Now the larva will eat day and night. He do not stop at all. Day and night he used to eat and increase in enormously. Okay, the size will increase enormously. Now what happened after, there will be a time like after 25 or 30 days of eating day and night. Now the the caterpillar will stop eating. Now they do not eat, now they stop eating, and after that they start making a cocoon. Okay, so on which a cocoon they will help to make the cocoon on the bamboo strip. So they make some kind of a tray, and that tray will help them to make help the larva to make the cocoon, and the farmers also get some relaxation to remove those cocoon from that stick, so that will be more easy for them. So this is how the normally a silk moth will start forming or weaving their cocoon. And this cocoon, the only inside that there will be the animal, or we can say that the silk moth, and after that coming out is the pupa. After some time the animal will come out, and that is the pupa, and the pupa will convert into the adult. Okay, so this is how the normal process begin. What we require just this covering, which is we call it as cocoon, and that cocoon we require pile of cocoons. Okay, pile of cocoon to prepare or to get some amount of silk out of it. Okay, to separate the silk from the cocoon, we require to dry it in under the sun. Okay, first of all we will dry the cocoon under the sun, and with that help we can separate it out. Okay, we can separate the cocoon, separate the threads or fiber of silk fibers from that cocoon area, and this separation is known as the reeling, the silk. Okay, this is what the process is known as. The process of taking out thread out of the cocoon is the silk of the silk is known as the reeling of the silk. Okay, so this can be done with some kind of a special machines. They require some kind of special machine to remove all those threads from that cocoon area. Okay, now those thread will help them, or we can wound that thread and we can make clothes out of it. And what kind? The silk cloth we will make out of it. So this is how normally our wool and silk, how we get the wool and silk fiber, and how that fiber will convert into the fabric. So this is what all in this chapter. I hope you have understand all those concepts. If you have any doubt, please ask me in the comment box, and if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe my channel. And thank you guys for watching this video.